I spent the last 3 weeks taking out my hair. Look at me. I'm very tired. What's that thing that they say when you haven't had sleep? I'm sleep deprived. That's why I can't even remember things. My brain is still on, I don't know, what's that thing? Mummy brain mode. So this is me. I've come to meet you guys on here. And it's not because I'm ignoring this page. I'm not ignoring this channel. I think sometimes I overthink what I can put on here because my reality is not very aesthetically pleasing, as you can see. And I think I'm constantly, I look at, I obviously watch other content and see, and I'm like, oh, wow, that person really looks like they've got their life together. It's why can't you be like that? You've been taking out this hair for the last 3 weeks. Are you okay? You look tired, skincare is not skincaring, just a lot of things. And I realized that I cannot keep comparing myself to other people's highlight reel, as this again is my highlight reel. You cannot fully see the extent of the stress that I have. But the other side of things is I have joy. I have a lot of joy. God has been really faithful. And I think that's the light for me. That's my constant light when I feel tired and a bit drained. Today is one of those days. My baby, our youngest baby, Fife, the sweet baby, she, one day you put her to bed, she has her 3 naps, everything is mwah, chef's kiss. The next day, and I'm saying yesterday, as I was saying to my husband loudly, it's as if the enemy was hearing that. I was like, yeah, I just put her down in her bed and she slept. She had a nap. She napped for like 2 hours. And every time I talk about how good she's doing, the following day, it's not like that. It's like she wants to stick to me like glue, which in an ideal world is cute, but it's exhausting for me. What else is exhausting me? The breastfeeding in the middle of the night. God. Mothers that are currently breastfeeding, I'm hailing you. You're really trying. This is trying. It's trying. But I'm not here to complain. I am just using this as an outlet. Would you guys let me do that? Can I just come and be real with you? Like, I can't be real like this on any other platform, but here, I have to be honest. I feel like my people, you people on YouTube, I feel like it's a different dynamic. And I feel I can be my quite raw self. And, it doesn't really quite fit. I've been on this platform for a while and you've seen me in my rawest form. Even on our couples channel, you've seen me look a hot mess. You've seen me look cute. And you guys are still here. So I'm coming here and I'm telling you that from time to time, I shall come here and express certain things in quite a raw form. And it may not be aesthetically pleasing, but will you take me as I am? Because I have to take me as I am in this current season. Yeah? Can we do that? If you agree, I would love to hear back from you guys in the comment section below.
So would you say that these things you just talk about are the things that lead to, say, postpartum depression?
Absolutely. I think it's that and a multitude of things, but I think it's a multitude of things, but essentially it's the overwhelm. It's very overwhelming to have your body change in such a drastic manner and then have to heal. Imagine having surgery and then straight after surgery you're put to work. That's basically what giving birth is like. Like you have surgery, which I did, open stomach surgery in the open heart. Anyway, I have surgery and maybe the surgery was very traumatic. The surgery wasn't too traumatic, but the lead up to the surgery was very traumatic for me. I had a failed, what do they call this thing? A failed induction. It failed miserably. And, the NHS is going through a lot, but the patients are going through a lot at the hands of the fact that the NHS is under so much pressure. I know a lot is not a word, you don't have to tell me, but I had to learn. I've been hearing that the importance of us as women, Black women, advocating for yourself. If you feel like something doesn't seem right when you're in a hospital, that you should speak out. Man, I saw it. This induction failed. They should not have pushed me to do an induction. I felt pushed to be induced. Fife was not ready to leave the womb at that time. She was not overdue, but they said I should go and have an induction. And I think sometimes, from time to time, I think about that and I shudder because they kept poking and prodding me. When she came out, she was distressed. She had been distressed. And even the lead up to the surgery it was a fact of the induction failed. I was in the hospital for a week. So all these things, imagine all of these things. I was in the hospital for a week. Then they tried to induce me. It didn't work. I had to go for a C-section, which I wanted to avoid from the beginning. I wanted to try and have a vaginal birth because I didn't want to have to spend time healing, which is what happens with C-sections. But in the end, I had to do it anyway, and I should have elected. My husband had even said, babe, just go for that. And I was thinking, I don't want to go for that. I want to just try it differently so I don't have to take time to heal. In the end, I had to go for it. And I think these are the things, that trauma, it can be locked up. It may seem like you've gotten over it because they'll tell you, we're so sorry that you went through this. I hope you're okay. You rest, you come back home, the baby is growing, and God is just so good. But there's still the after effects of these things. And that can cause postpartum because you don't have the time to really deal with your feelings at that time. You don't have time to deal with it. Like, I don't have time, not just because I have a newborn baby who is no longer a newborn and a very active 7-month-old, but I also have a very active 7-year-old who wants to feel that she's still the daughter that I've loved for 7 years. She wants to feel it, and she needs that validation constantly because she's a child as well. And I also have a husband who rightly so wants to feel that his presence is needed, that he's still wanted and he's still desired. That's still there. And then there's me. I'm just like, I'm just the girl. I'm just the girl. Like, God. A girl that wants to get my hair taken out and I can do another cute style. So I think it's just a multitude of things.
So would you say you are going through or you went through postpartum depression?
No, because I felt that. Then again, I don't think I think I can have not postpartum depression as such. I think I do have some days where I feel the blues, just some days. Because every day is different, right? And I just feel like when I do feel that way, it's like, okay, I remember what could have happened, what could have been, and it's a reminder that God has been faithful to me.
Yeah. So before we get there, so ultimately you are not going through postpartum depression, but you should have been going through postpartum depression based on everything I do. So why are you not going through it? Or in other words, people that are going through postpartum depression, what can you say to help? Or how can they overcome it? Or how can it be avoided? Do you understand the question? Yeah.
Take the help that you are offered, if you are offered help. That's one practical thing I will say to do. Take that help. I think sometimes we always feel bad. Oh, I don't want to feel like this. If somebody's offering you help, take the help. The help may seem so little, but whatever it is, take that help. Or somebody wants to help you to iron your clothes. Take that help. Somebody wants to help you to carry the baby. You don't like the way they carry the baby. At least they're carrying the baby. Allow them carry the baby. Someone who wants to help you to feed. Just take whatever help you can get. That's one. 2 is to constantly put yourself in a place in an atmosphere of praise and worship and prayer. Let me be honest with you. I do not have time to open my Bible and study it. I don't have the time. Not because I'm so busy, I'm busier than anybody in the world. No, because I do not have the capacity in this season of my life to concentrate for that long. So therefore, I listen to the audio Bible. I listen to an audio plan daily. I turn it on. And I always say to God that, as I hear this, may your words speak to me and may you open up your word to me, and may the word and may I open may I be opened up to your word. Basically, it's just allowing the good word to enter me, because in the Bible it says faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God. So for me, my faith is that every day I listen to a little bit of the word, it's entering, it's healing, and it's changing me. And I have seen the effects. I've been doing it for 100 days, 100 and something days. And where I was when I started is not where I am now. That's not to say that I don't have days where I feel stretched and just over it all. But there is a hope that I have, because maybe I just listened to Deuteronomy 22 and I just think, wow, God is reminding us in Deuteronomy, Moses is reminding the people in Deuteronomy that you are supposed, these are the things that God has said that you should do. Keep yourself holy as he is holy. I'm digressing, but it is doing a work. I promise you. So that I said, like, take the help that you're given, have an atmosphere of praise and worship, to put on some praise music, worship music. If you're not able to read your Bible, listen to the audio Bible and listen to audio plan daily. And the third one is therapy. I haven't started that yet, but I think what has been therapeutic for me is expressing and speaking to somebody that understands where I'm coming from. But I think what the step further I will need to take is actually get a therapist and speak to someone that is not a part of my life, but can give me the tools on how to manage certain aspects of my life. I think that that's a blessing in itself. That it's a gift to have someone that understands that and they can transfer that to you. So that's the thing I recommend, because when after therapy, I did have postpartum. I was very, very overwhelmed, very overwhelmed. And I think because I had no idea what I was no idea what to expect. I didn't know I had read supernatural childbirth and I believed that was what I was going to have. So what happens when it doesn't go that way? What happens if it goes completely the opposite way? Does that mean that God is not watching and that he's not loving us?
And from your experiences of the two, because your two childbirths have been CS, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So would you say those are not supernatural childbirths?
They are more than supernatural. And that's why we have to be very careful what we say, because people, don't you see it? So all that kind of stuff. People have died because, like, people perish because of lack of knowledge. People have died because they don't understand the importance that everybody's childbirth is different. It's different. And even within that, each child's childbirth is different. Jeremy's was different to Fife's. It's different. Fife came out, she was distressed, so they put her in the NICU, which is newborn, like an incubator, essentially. She was there for 2 days, right? And that's because they had been poking and prodding her too much over the week before. If I did not scream because they were trying to force my womb open, it's like an egg, like a shell that you're trying to crack open. They're trying to break my waters, basically. But my cervix wasn't open. So they were trying to force their way through, and it was so incredibly painful. And then I said, stopped. I said, stop. I screamed, I sobbed. I was sobbing in my husband's arms, because I felt like I failed, not knowing that, thank God I told them to stop, because if they had persisted, which they wanted to do, the story may not be the same. One thing I want to say is that when I've since heard traumatic stories, childbirth stories online, and it's made me so angry, livid, in fact, because people trusted the system. And they're not wrong to do that. Don't get me wrong. They're not wrong to trust the system that they have, they came all the way for, they had planned and prepared. And unfortunately, they didn't take their baby back home with them. But what I want you to do is to trust God more than the system, because let me tell you, it's a trial and error thing. They don't know everything. Yes, doctors are very important, nurses are very important, but they don't know everything. There's only so much they can do. There are limitations to what they can do. But ultimately, it is your body. You have to trust. If something is painful, if something is uncomfortable, you need to speak out. If you are worried about something and you need a moment, you need to tell them to stop. If you are worried about something and you need them to act, you need to shout and tell them, I need you to act on this now. Do not withhold what is bubbling up inside of you because you feel like, oh, they're the doctor or they're the nurse, they should know better. No, you know your body more than anybody else. After I screamed and sobbed and said I don't want to do it again, they still came back to ask me that, oh, do I want to try running away? I said, no, I don't want to do it. Just let me have the C-section. Let me have my baby out. That's it. Because if I had persisted, and this is based on other medical professionals that I've spoken to afterwards, if they had persisted and continued and tried to do an induction, I may not have made it. And that's why I know that God is a good God. That in spite of everything that I went through, I still had the supernatural childbirth that I needed to have. But the fallback is I'm still dealing with that. Because there's times when I look at her and I think, God, and I just hold her a bit tighter. I'm just like, God, like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for this baby, because just thank you.
Overall, a takeaway also from this is the fact that, number one, the supernatural in the childbirth is not necessarily because it's vaginal. It's because you have a child. Because the mating of a male and female sperm and ovum to form a child is what is supernatural.
Yeah.
So people should also stop talking down on people that have CS, because it is not less easy than having vaginal birth.
Anything to do with having a birth of a child is divine. Is divine. So there is no lesser. It is divine, and it is God, because God has called it to be. That's it. There is nothing. He never talks about the process. I think people talk about it all the time. They talk about, oh, as a Hebrew woman. Let me tell you about that Hebrew woman thing, right? They had to, remember when they were killing the boys? They were killing the Hebrew boys. So the Hebrew women had to give birth in silence. They had to cover their mouths so that they would not scream, so that they would not know when they were giving birth, so that they will not come and take their baby and kill them. So that is what the Hebrew woman is. So when you're praying, let us not pray amiss. Let us pray with understanding.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. This was heated. This was not the plan, but I also just want to state what else I learned from this, So from what you said, in dealing with postpartum also is for you to, because what postpartum also does sometimes, what the devil tries to do with it is to repackage what God has packaged to you as a joy, as what is now making you depressed. Because sometimes it can get to the point where some people even look at their babies and even hate the babies that you are the one that put me in this position. So you get conscious. It's not easy, but you try to be conscious to realize that this is a thing of joy. This is what I pray to God for. And from what you said, you look at Fife and you remember all those things that happened and what could have happened, and you are just grateful again.
I think that's what I'm grateful for, because even with everything, I'm like, God, I think I needed to go, I didn't need to go through it, but the fact I went through it makes me more grateful, so that I can't even focus on what could have been, because look at this baby, look at her, she's so joyful, she's so active. Look at her, she's in perfect health. She was the one that ripped out the tube out of her own nose in the baby ICU.
And she came after 2 miscarriages, we prayed for her, and she's here.
We prayed for her, and I look at her and I'm just like, wow, what a manifestation of God's word and promises.
And this is, you've said this before, but this is also to get people that are praying now to anticipate. But that thing you're praying for is still probably going to stress you. So be prepared.
Just a new level of, another level.
But the stress, you remember that the stress is not stress in itself, it's a testimony, it's answered prayer.
And also, I think the stress always is just the outside factors. It's not the child themselves. It's just the outside factors. It's you have to do so much cleaning, do so much this. It's emotional.
And it's crazy that these are the things you will now miss later. Because for instance, now you look at family, you're like, you miss those days.
Like when she was a baby and she was learning things, and now I have that with Fifa, and it's like, and to be honest, I still thank God I did soak out with Fermi, and I'm soaking it up with Fifa.
Yeah, I'm checking my.
Yeah, so I'm, I think in every season again, it's to find the joy in it and hold on to that.
Yeah, so for this not to extend longer, I just want to tell you that you are and I'm not even saying this because you're my wife or whatever, but you are for the lack of a better word, this is the mildest word I can think of, but you are the best mom that I know. Like, my mom had always been the best mom I know, but recently I compared you to my mom, and that's a very, very powerful thing. That's a very powerful. You are exceptional. You are, and I don't like, God is just so amazing. The way you've been able to champion everything and just wear a smile through. I see beyond the smile. I see beneath the smile, even in my weakness. Now one thing I realize about you is you make music out of everything. You make everything, turn them into songs. You just laugh through it all. I was ill a couple of days ago. You were taking care of me. You are just always at the top of it. You are very tired at night. You come to sleep maybe like to 12 or past 12, and by 1 you are up again. Making sure you just. And it's not the crazy thing for me about this, because I'm here. I've been in your life since we got married. You didn't get any training for this. The way these things have been, when we see our moms, you always rest assured that, they were trained. You didn't get any training for this, but you are really, really doing it so well. And I just want to say thank you. And through you, I actually now realize why we have like 6 Mother's Day in a year. And I think we need to have 6. We need to have like 70 more. Thank you so much. And by the way, she was working, so even the free time that the baby was sleeping, I was like, okay, can you just quickly shoot this video?
Yeah, why did I get a job like when she was 5 months, dude? What was I thinking?
And she's gonna get back to work now. Thank you so much.
Thank God.